Jacob's new condominium unit stood like a monolith amidst the bustling city, its sleek glass facade reflecting the ever-changing sky. Inside, the modernity continued with minimalist furniture that adorned the open-plan living space, the city's lights twinkling through the expansive windows as if in competition with the stars. It was a sanctuary of solitude for Jacob, who relished the quietness after long hours of remote work. But the stillness of his home was deceptive. As the days passed, peculiar occurrences began to unsettle the air. The television flickered to life in the dead of night, displaying static images that seemed to whisper secrets. Cold drafts wandered through the rooms, carrying with them the faint scent of lilacs, a fragrance that had no source within the sterile walls. It was in the reflection of his computer screen that Jacob first saw them, a woman and a child, their ethereal forms barely visible, yet unmistakably there. They moved with purpose, yet their intentions were as obscure as their whispered conversations, which were just beyond the edge of understanding. The mother, her visage marred by sorrow, would often be seen gazing out the window, her eyes following something unseen. The child, playful yet silent, seemed to be forever searching for something lost within the confines of the condominium. Their presence was an enigma, their stories untold, yet their ghostly appearances became as much a part of the home as the furniture that adorned it. Jacob, once a skeptic, found himself drawn into their world, his nights spent seeking answers to the unexplained phenomena that had invaded his life. The condominium, once a symbol of his independence, now held secrets that tethered him to the unknown, each eerie event unraveling the fabric of his reality. As the line between the living and the spectral blurred, Jacob realized that his home was not just a place of refuge, but a nexus of past lives and unfinished business. And he, unwittingly, had become a part of their story. Jacob's initial attempts to communicate with the spectral inhabitants of his condominium were tentative and tinged with disbelief. He started by addressing the empty air, his voice a mix of curiosity and caution. When this yielded no response, he turned to more traditional methods. He laid out a sheet of paper and crayons, hoping the child's ghost might be compelled to express itself through drawings. To his astonishment, one morning, he found crude sketches of a house and a family, drawn with a child's heavy hand, the crayons worn down to stubs. For the mother, Jacob tried a different approach. He placed a digital recorder in various spots around the condo, especially where he felt her presence the strongest. During playback, he'd catch fragments of a lullaby or the tail end of a hushed conversation, the words too muffled to discern but brimming with emotion. As days turned into weeks, Jacob's fear subsided, replaced by a deep empathy for these lost souls. He began to speak to them as one would speak to a friend, sharing details of his day, his thoughts, and even his meals, which he started to cook for two, setting an extra place at the table. In time, the ghosts began to respond. Lights would flicker in affirmation, and the temperature would drop when they were near, their presence now a comforting constant in Jacob's once lonely existence. It was a silent pact of cohabitation, a bridge between worlds built on mutual acknowledgement and the shared space they called home. As Jacob grew more attuned to the presence of the ghosts, the veil between their worlds thinned, allowing him glimpses into their past. It started with the child's drawings, which became more detailed over time, revealing a quaint house surrounded by fields, a stark contrast to the cityscape of Jacob's condominium. The digital recordings captured more coherent phrases, and Jacob pieced together a narrative from the snippets of conversation. The mother spoke of a time when laughter filled her days, and the child's voice echoed with the innocence of youth. They spoke of a place where the sun warmed their skin and the wind played with their hair, a place that felt like a distant memory to Jacob's urban reality. One evening, as the city drowned in twilight, the ghosts enacted a scene from their life before. The mother hummed a lullaby, her voice clear and melancholic, while the child danced around the living room, his laughter silent but palpable. It was a moment of pure joy and heartbreaking beauty, a memory they clung to across the chasm of death. Through these revelations, Jacob understood that the ghosts were tethered to his condominium not by choice, but by circumstance. They had once lived a life filled with love and happiness, which was cut tragically short. Their attachment to the physical world was anchored in their search for closure, a search that had led them to Jacob's home, where the boundaries of time and existence were blurred. Jacob realized that his role was not just to coexist with these spirits, but to help them find the peace they were denied in life. It was a task he accepted with a sense of purpose, knowing that in helping them, he was also healing a part of himself. The tragic event that bound the souls of the mother and child to Jacob's condominium was revealed to him through a series of fragmented memories and spectral whispers. It was a tale of misfortune and loss that unfolded over several nights, each revelation more harrowing than the last. Jacob learned that the mother and child were once residents of the land where his condominium now stood. They lived in a charming cottage, surrounded by nature's bounty, their days marked by simple joys and the warmth of each other's company. However, their idyllic life was shattered one fateful night. A devastating fire engulfed their home, sparked by an unforeseen electrical fault. The blaze was swift and merciless, consuming everything in its path. The mother, in a desperate attempt to save her child, was overcome by the smoke and flames. Their spirits, unable to move on, remained trapped within the confines of their once happy abode. As the city grew and the land was redeveloped, their cottage gave way to the towering condominium. Yet, the souls of the mother and child lingered, their presence an echo of the past amidst the urban sprawl. Jacob's heart ached for them, their story a weight upon his own soul. He knew that he was meant to encounter them, that their paths had crossed for a reason. With newfound resolve, Jacob set out to help the mother and child find the peace they deserved, to release them from the chains of their tragic past.